Hi, my name is Michael with CalFresh Healthy Living, and I am here to speak with you about eating healthy on a budget. This is part of our Eat Healthy, Be Active community workshops. In today's lesson, we're going to discuss 3 tips for eating healthy on a budget, including planning, purchasing, and preparing. We're also going to discuss cooking ahead of time so that we can save you some money and time. And this was funded by the USDA SNAP Ed program, which is an equal opportunity and provider. If you have any complaints or would like to file a USDA discrimination complaint, you can do so by using the link or the telephone number provided. First, I'd like to discuss MyPlate with you. It's a great tool to help you eat healthier and put some variety on your plate. We always want to have some fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy on our plate to make sure that we're getting all of our essential nutrients. We always want to make sure that half of our plate is fruit and veggies, and we want to make sure that half of our grains are whole grains. You can make sure on the label that you're checking that it says 100% whole wheat or whole grains on there. When we look at protein, we want to make sure that our proteins are lean and that our dairies are low in fat. When looking at oils, we want to use something that's a little bit healthier for us, such as olive oil or another vegetable oil, instead of something that's a little less healthy for us, such as lard or butter that are high in saturated fats. Another important component of health is staying physically active. We want to make sure that we're trying to meet the minimum recommendations, which are currently 2.5 hours a week for adults or 60 minutes a day for children. And you can stay active your way by bicycling, dancing, gardening, doing household chores, just anything really to reduce sitting time. You can visit myplate.gov for more information on all of these healthy tips. One of the first steps for eating healthy on a budget is planning. We can plan our meals ahead of time so that we can stay within our budget and be sure that we get healthy meals when we go into the grocery store. You can find quick and healthy meals online at eatfresh.org. And we can also include meals that will stretch our expensive food items that we buy at the store, such as stews, casseroles, or stir fries. We've also included material to help make planning a little bit easier, including our meal plan for the week, a grocery list that has all of the MyPlate areas in it, a couple of pre-made recipes that are healthy and delicious, and also our 10 tips for eating healthier on a budget. So we've planned some awesome meals for the week, but how do we know we're getting the most out of our money? Well, one thing I like to do when I go to the store is look for some of the generic brands of items. A lot of times they have the same ingredients, they're manufactured the same way, and sometimes are even made in the same facilities as the name brands. The only thing that's different is the packaging. We can also look at the store coupons to make sure that we're getting all of the deals that they're offering during the week. We can shop for seasonal foods, which are usually a little bit cheaper when they're in season rather than off season. And also, a lot of stores offer rewards or loyalty programs that we can sign up for that can help us save some extra cash at the checkout line. Another cost saving tip is to compare items at the grocery store by the unit price. So instead of the price listed, if you use the example of the milks given and compare by the unit price, which is the indicated by the orange on this example, you can see that it is $1.17 per ounce for the half gallon and 99 cents per ounce for the full gallon. So if you were to buy 2 of the half gallon milks, it would actually be more expensive than buying 1 full gallon, which is the same amount of milk. So a lot of times grocery stores will have this listed in ounces or in pounds or whatever the unit they're going by is. In this example, it is in orange. Some grocery stores have it in different colors, but on most of the labels, you can see what the unit price is and compare that way rather than the price that is listed. Most of the time, newer items are placed behind some of the older items. So when selecting a perishable product, it's good to check in the back to see if there is one with a later date. Another healthy tip for eating healthy on a budget is to prepare ahead of time. So similar to planning, we can prepare our meals ahead of time to save us some time and money and just take the effort and thought out of it. So when preparing a meal, we can cut the veggies beforehand. We can make sure that our spices are ready to go. We can make sure that the meat is proportioned correctly. and that our beans or rice or anything else is already ready to go so that all the meals can be ready at the same time. When we're preparing some snacks, we can just make some grab and go snacks, such as a bean dip or some hummus or salsa is one of my favorites. Just easy to go to and takes the thought out of really eating snacks so that we're not tempted to go get something that's a little bit less healthy if there's already a healthy snack provided for us. When we are done eating or when we've finished our meal, we can freeze the leftovers so that we can just quickly reheat it if it's already prepared in a little package, and that can stretch our budget and stretch the amount of food that we're getting for that. And for our leftovers, if we use some different leftovers from one meal to another, we can get essentially two meals out of that. So say you use some chicken for some stir fry, you can throw that on a salad the next day and get something, some little variety and something that is also healthy. Some helpful tips when navigating a grocery store is usually the healthier items are placed on the outside in that green area if you see the slide. Um, we can find most of the either whole foods or meat products or just, either an unprocessed or minimally processed foods. Usually the stuff with all the processing and all the extra ingredients are going to be found in the middle aisles, but for the most part, generally speaking, most of the healthy stuff is going to be on the outside aisles. So we can make sure that we're sticking to our list, sticking to the outside of the aisles to help make sure that we are getting all of our healthy meals and that we are not getting any extras. I know when I'm going to the grocery store and I'm kind of hungry, I can find myself wandering in aisles, and sometimes I'll pick up some things that are not on my list and probably not the best for me.
Another healthy tip for choosing nutritious food is to always read the nutrition facts label. It's something that I constantly do, and I hope that I can encourage you to do it as well. I know that I've been fooled in the past by some clever marketing that has said some items might be a little bit more healthier than they actually were, and I didn't really know that until I flipped it around and checked the nutrition facts and looked at the ingredients list and was able to see that it had maybe a little bit more sugars than I would have wanted to consume, and maybe some other products that I wasn't really looking forward to consuming. And I wouldn't have known that had I not looked in the back and checked the nutrition facts and the ingredients list. So the only way that you can really know what is exactly in the food that you're going to be eating is if you check the nutrition label and the ingredients list, which is usually listed right below that nutrition facts label. So we can just walk through this one to maybe give you more insight if you're unfamiliar with this, and show you how to read this one. So on this specific example, if we look at the top right under the nutrition facts, it says the serving size. So it's 2/3 of a cup in a single serving. But if you look above that, there are 8 total servings within this full container. So if I were to eat this whole container, I would have to multiply 2/3 of a cup by 8. So if I do some quick math, that will give me 5 1/3 cup in this entire container. So everything listed on here is for one single size, but if you're going to eat more than that, then you would have to multiply that to get the actual amount. So for instance, if we move down, this is reading that it says 230 calories in this, but that's only per serving. So only in 2/3 of a cup, there are 230 calories. If I ate double the 2/3 of cup, I would also have to double the amount of calories. So in this case, it would be 460 calories. If I were to eat this entire container, to figure out how many calories I actually consumed, I would have to multiply that by 8 because, as mentioned earlier, there are 8 total servings. So if I ate this entire container, I would multiply 230 by 8, and that would give me 1,840 calories within this whole container.
So speaking about this section below the calories, also listed are the total fat, saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, sodium or salt, total carbohydrates, dietary fiber, total sugars, which also lists the added sugars, and proteins. Again, these quantities are only going to be in a single serving. And of all of these ingredients, we want to make sure that we're limiting saturated fat, trans fat, and sugars that we are consuming. For most of this information, please visit choosemyplate.gov, or download the MyPlate app, and you can get a lot of healthy tips and good information on there. Once again, this was funded by the USDA SNAP Ed program, which is an equal opportunity and provider. If you have any complaints or would like to file a USDA discrimination complaint, you can do so by using the link or the telephone number provided. From CalFresh Healthy Living and all of our partners, we thank you for participating in this, and hopefully there were some helpful tips to help you eat healthy on a budget.